Some time ago, I started playing this game which made me question not just my own preferences and likes when it comes to real-time strategy games with base building, but also the definition of RTS games in general. It broke my mental barriers when it comes to such games, like do I enjoy wave defense gameplay? Can a simple AI even be interesting enough to play against in long game matches? Should a real-time game have playable pause? How detailed graphics must be? And many more questions I started asking myself after my first few game sessions. And after a lot more time playing this game and talking to you, my fellow gamers and viewers, I realized I simply enjoyed diplomacy is not an option so much because it eased me into a new gameplay style in such a gentle way that I was able to start really having fun with something I used to avoid. I must admit that they are billions kicked my butt so hard after a few tries that I never went back for more, and even skipped Age of Darkness Final Stand altogether. This happened in a number of other games which have similar wave defense gameplay modes, and I really thought I would never like such gameplay. And then the small indie team approached me about their new game they wanted me to showcase on my channel. I was still on the fence and was ready to say thank you but no, when one of my friends and fellow content creators over at Strategy Informer also asked me if I wanted to cover this game. I took it as a sign that I should probably give it a go. Like, what is the worst that could happen? My past conclusion that I do not like such games will be just reaffirmed and I will move on. But life enjoys throwing curveballs at you, and it turns out the worst that could happen was this game flipping so many of my beliefs and preconceptions upside down. From the first time I played it, I got hooked. I am still not sure is it the amazing combination of procedurally generated maps and detailed base building in the medieval world, the way resource collection forces you to expand your kingdom and make yourself an even bigger target with stretched defenses, or the quirky humor and watching the helpless enemy units flail about as they get launched into the air when hit by boulders from catapults and trebuchets. I proceeded to make a full video starting guide, wrote one for Steam, and even started a Let's Play series in the endless survival mode against dirty peasants who wanted my head or my gold or my throne. Maybe it was my lands. I can't really remember, and the story, lore and campaign are still in development anyway, getting better with each new update. Oh, and the updates. Yes, these developers haven't taken the foot off the gas when it comes to updates. One after the other. New units, new buildings, new enemies, challenges, difficulty levels. For the past year they have been adding more and more content, and with great care, as well as using feedback from players to refine and improve their game. Last such update brought a whole new gameplay mode, new types of defensive buildings, even traps and new skills for units. This new Sandbox mode lets you customize the game before starting and even mid-game when it comes to enemy waves which attack you. Traps finally add some passive damage dealing by fortifications, and the new guard towers give you more options as they cost less to build, get destroyed faster, but they help you deal more damage to enemies. I have to mention, if the title and thumbnail of this video didn't make it clear, this is not a game review. I do not make reviews on my channel, ever. I stopped believing in reviews the first time I installed a patch which improved the game I was playing. This is especially relevant today when games like No Man's Sky and even Cyberpunk 2077 can make a miraculous 180 turn from release day of wrecks to games people recommend to each other. Sure, I will write a small note on a game I like on Steam to help it gain a higher rating and reach more players that might potentially love it, but that same note is outdated the moment I wrote it. What I love to do is to showcase games, to teach gamers how to play them, to find new exciting games and share them with you all. But reviews? No, not ever. Now I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're not really interested in this game where almost every gameplay mode right now is always the same. One keep, different map, same resources, different enemies, and repeat until you win, lose, or decide you had enough like in the endless mode. You are now where I was several games back when I didn't find any enjoyment in such gameplay. But for me, it was diplomacy is not an option coming along to change my mind completely. Maybe your game is just around the corner, or it has already been released, but you haven't ever watched a trailer or tried its demo because you are so sure you do not like such games. Do let me know in the comments if I hit the mark or was I wildly off target. In case I am wrong, here's a link to a list full of upcoming regular RTS games you're more interested in, see what you like and tell me about it. Now, did I mention that this kind of gameplay made me rethink the definition of real-time strategy games? Well, it was more about what I personally consider to be an RTS game, which, put in the simplest way possible, is collect resources, build a base, recruit units, send them out to fight until you destroy the enemy base. But in this game, there is no enemy base. And I don't go to attack the enemy, I defend from that enemy, with base building turned to 11 with all the varieties of walls, towers and newly added traps and watchtowers. Yes, okay, there is the part where you can clear the map from enemy camps, so you are attacking a bit, but that is only a little while and ultimately there are no more static enemies on the map. They all come from off-map. So that is why this and other similar games to it break one of my and probably your own tenements of RTS game design. And let's not forget the time controls. Playable pause is not exactly a standard real-time strategy game element. If I still have your attention about this game and its gameplay design, let me tell you why I think you're missing out if you haven't played it before or you stopped playing before some of the latest updates, especially the updates to the campaign, but also other gameplay elements. First, my favorite way to play, the endless mode. It now has many more difficulty options, going from a carefree build mode with no enemies to 4 really hard ones, which differ most of all in the type of enemy units which come to visit and try to destroy your kingdom. Villagers turned rebels, the king's professional army, and zombies with their monster kin. In this mode, you get a randomized map, a keep with some minimal supplies, a few people and soldiers, and build until you can build no more, or everything gets demolished by some future wave of up to and over 20,000 enemy units. This is where the special art design and simple textures come in, making sure performance doesn't suffer with such huge armies on the screen. Every enemy wave is progressively harder as you get attacked from more and more directions and by larger and larger enemy armies. They have their own siege weapons, but what they lack is spells, and you have 4 at your disposal to summon some Dark Knights, as in Dead Knights, hit them with an ion cannon from orbit, I mean magical astral ray, do a mass heal of friendly units, and drop a tactical nuke on them, which is pretending to be a meteor from the heavens. Each of these costs progressively more soul crystals, and these you find after destroying enemy camps dotted around the map. If you survive long enough, you can research a top tier tech, which will make some enemy units occasionally drop these crystals when you defeat them. Research is present in every game mode, from the tutorial, which is quite good at teaching you the basics, to the campaign, which is a string of missions, each one followed and preceded by the caricatures of your lord and his retinue getting themselves in all sorts of trouble. Voiceover is pending, and I know the jokes are questionable, as not everyone shares the developer's sense of humor. So we have the Endless and Sandbox modes, tutorial and campaign. What am I missing? Challenges. Lots and lots of challenges. Here you often start off with a bucket load of resources and are left to learn to swim in the waves of enemies or drown trying. It provides a shift from the usually slow building up and resource management of the other modes, with a large variety of map sizes, attacking enemy armies and difficulty levels. The names and titles of these challenges are hilarious, and there are lots of references to other forms of entertainment medium, some blatant, others more obscure. One really interesting detail I wanted to mention about diplomacy is not an option is the fact that the game world turns darker and nature shifts to darker shades of the color green when you choose higher difficulty levels. It is such a great idea by the developers to increase the doom and gloom in harder challenges and higher difficulty levels, setting just the right tone for different playthroughs. It has the extra benefit of making it more obvious when you watch someone else play which difficulty setting they're using, and it also provides more variety in new playthroughs. I didn't really go much into units and buildings as I wanted to focus more on what made me fall in love with this game and try and explain that to you. But both the number of units and buildings is growing with new updates, and now we have traps, passive and active defenses, new unit skills, guard towers of different sizes and shapes, which are all unlocked as you upgrade your town hall and other buildings along with it. The developers from Door 407 are not stopping, and I hope that each new player will find the game even more content rich than it already is. I know this was more long-winded and different than my usual videos, so if you have enjoyed it, let me know in the comments or jump ship using the cards on the screen to my other videos. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!